Hey there friends, and welcome back to another video. Now this video is a little bit different just because it is not a new video. This is a video I made almost 2 full years ago, and 99% of you will not have seen this video because it didn't do amazing, and also it's been a long time, but I mean it did better than a lot of the stuff lately, but that's not the point. The point is, this is an older video. The reason I'm re-uploading it is because Battlefront 3 is a hot topic right now, and also I think that this video was pretty good, actually. So I'm just kind of re-sharing it, essentially. Hopefully you enjoy it. The quality isn't as good as my newer videos, and my microphone is not very good for the rest of this video, so sorry about that. I would re-record it, but I don't have the original files for everything, so I'd have to basically make the whole thing from scratch, and I don't want to do that because I don't think the video will actually do that good. Anyways, hopefully you enjoy this, and if you do, maybe leave a like, share it, comment, maybe subscribe and stick around because I make other stuff and I'm trying to do some more concepts, hopefully pretty soon. So stay tuned for that.
Hi players, this is John Boyega.
And this is Star Wars Battlefront 3. Whether dominating the multiplayer Battlefront as General Grievous, leading your squad through intense battles, stepping into the boots of a clone trooper in a new single-player campaign,
Or mastering your skills in split-screen arcade.
this is the greatest Star Wars gaming experience yet, with more depth than ever before. Star Wars Battlefront 3 has more locations, heroes, and reinforcements than ever before. It all starts with the Battlefront. Bespin, Mygeeto, Umbara, Crate, and many more. Over 30 locations to explore across over 4 Star Wars eras. Star Wars Battlefront 3 brings back class gameplay. Choose from the Assault, Heavy, Specialist, and Support classes,
Each with unique abilities, weapons,
and cosmetics for the Battlefront. But it's not all about the power of the individual. The better you play with your team, the more battle points you'll earn to call in powerful reinforcements, such as Magna Guards and Sith Troopers.
and a wide range of vehicles, both on the ground and in the air.
Battle points are also key to bringing iconic Star Wars heroes into battle. From Din Djarin, Ahsoka, and Captain Cardinal. Each hero has unique abilities for you to customize and master. Earn battle points to call in your hero and turn the tide. And last but not least, we have vehicles. Use battle points to take control of powerful vehicles to help your allies in battle. The cosmetic system is better than ever, with special free cosmetics to show off your rank. Star Wars Battlefront 3 contains 8 different multiplayer modes, including large-scale modes like Galactic Assault, and hero modes like Heroes vs. Villains. Battles are bigger than ever with up to 60 players in Galactic Assault and Capital Supremacy. Star Wars Battlefront 3 is a massive experience, and it's only getting bigger, with a live service that continues to evolve and grow, bringing new eras, locations, and characters like Captain Rex and Cad Bane into the Battlefront.
Heroes are born on the battlefront. This holiday, jump in with me and begin your journey.
Hey there friends, welcome to another video. Hope you all enjoyed that little first trailer part. That part literally took me probably 200, 300 hours. Anyways, but I've been planning on doing a video like this for over 3 years. I have an entire notebook full of fake star cards for the game and other stuff for it. But I decided the best way to do this would be with a trailer because that's more interesting, and then after go into more detail after the trailer. I also picked what was one of my favorite trailers for Battlefront 2 to essentially remake in this video. Before we continue, huge shout out to the creators of the mods in this video. Both the Battlefront 2022 mod and Battlefront Plus was used for this. as well as the Mygeeto Map mod. Also, halfway through making this video, I realized that my PC is not powerful enough to record gameplay of these mods. Here's what it would have looked like if I had used my gameplay. So, yeah, not good. But luckily, Dead Meepers was kind enough to let me use some of their footage. I'll have a link to their channel and the mods below. Anyways, basically what the rest of this video is just a overview of the game in a non-trailer fashion. First off, in the actual video, it was mentioned that there would be a new era, so that era would be the New Republic era. This would include content based off of Ahsoka, Book of Boba Fett, and The Mandalorian, as well as the books and comics of that era. It would also be the era with the least content, but would get more over time, similar to how the prequel trilogy and sequel trilogy had at the launch of Battlefront 2. The maps for it would include Jakku, which would be based off of the battle scene in Battlefront 2's story, as well as the books. The liberation of Kashyyyk from the Empire would also be included, as well as new battles set on Navarro, Boba's Palace, and Mos Espa. Those last two are just kind of thrown in because it'd be technically easy to do comparatively to the other maps. New heroes for this era are Din Djarin, Moff Gideon, as well as IG-11 and IG-88. Now, I know IG-88 hasn't technically been seen in this era, but just pretend he has because it would be a smart use of assets to do two heroes extremely similarly. And you can just say, you know, he is a part of this era. Anyways, I'll go into the other heroes I'd want added in post-launch later. First though, earlier, I'm sure you heard the whole new eras thing being added, so what new eras? First off, the Old Republic would be added eventually with heroes and locations based off of it, like the Jedi Temple and Alderaan, as well as the Spark of Rebellion era, with content based off of Rebels, Bad Batch, Solo, Rogue One, the Jedi games, and much more. I'd love to go more into that stuff, and maybe I will if this video does okay, but for now, I want to talk about what would be in it at launch. Other maps would include Naboo, Felucia, Kashyyyk, Kamino, Geonosis, Endor, Mos Eisley, Yavin 4, Death Star 2, Hoth, Bespin, Death Star 1, Solist, Jabba's Palace, Starkiller Base, Jakku, Ajin Kloss, and Takodana. That was a lot to say really fast. Those are all returning from the previous games. Also, Scarif would return with the Spark of Rebellion stuff. But as for new maps, we have Mustafar, Coruscant, Mygeeto, Umbara, Vardos, which is in Battlefront 2 but not in the multiplayer, Dakar, Blackspire Outpost, which is from Galaxy's Edge, Exegol, and Kijimi. All of those would be included, and also, as for hero maps, we would get small versions of the big maps like Battlefront 2, but also get a lot more special maps like the Naboo Hangar from Battlefront 2. We'd get maps like the Death Star 2 Throne Room or Geonosis Hangar. You get the point. As for actual heroes, we have Anakin, Dooku, Obi-Wan, Grievous, Yoda, Maul, Ahsoka, Ventress, Padme, Jango Fett, Luke, Vader, Leia, Palpatine, Han, Boba, Chewie, Bossk, Lando, and Iden, Nub, and Dengar. Rito would also later be included in the Sparks of Rebellion, since he basically has no part in the Galactic Civil War. I think that would be a good way to reintroduce him. Din Djarin, Gideon, and the IGs, Rey and Kylo, Finn and Phasma, Poe and Hux, BB-8 and BB-9E, V Maradi, and Captain Cardinal. Those last two are from the books as well as kind of Galaxy's Edge, which these are here because I think that Disney and Lucasfilm would be smart to tie into each other by doing this. Now, same thing with the actual Blackspire Outpost. Now, also, I will say that I'd like for them to eventually add more book characters. For example, Bones and some others like that. Now, other heroes, there's so many to choose from, so obviously more would come, like Rex and Cad Bane, as mentioned before. But next is reinforcements. Now, one thing I'd get rid of for this game is reinforcement classes. I'd have them act more like heroes in this and level up separately and have separate star cards. That way you can have more specific cards that change the gameplay more. I'd also add planet-specific reinforcements, which I'll go ahead and go over. We have the Jedi Temple Guard for the Jedi Temple, Geonosians for Geonosis, Wookiee Warriors for Kashyyyk, specifically for the prequel era, Gungans for Naboo, Imperial Royal Guards for the Death Stars, Ewoks for Endor. And as for the other reinforcements that aren't exclusive to planets, we have ARC Troopers, BX Commando Droids, Clone Commandos, Droidicas, Super Battle Droids, and Clone Flame Troopers, Clone Jet Troopers, and Rocket Droids, Magna Guard and Riot Troopers, Wookiee Warriors and Death Troopers, Rebel Jet Troopers and Imperial Jet Troopers, Rebel Honor Guard and Riot Trooper, Incinerator Trooper and Bothan Spy, ISB Agent and Rebel Gunner. Now, the New Republic era would mostly have the same reinforcements as the original trilogy, just with different names and cosmetics, but some unique ones would be Dark Troopers, the assassin droids from the Ahsoka show, and the New Republic Century droids, which I will not lie, I completely stole from the Battlefront Plus mod. I didn't have this idea beforehand, but I saw that when I downloaded the mod to record footage, and I can't deny that that is a really cool thing that I would like to have in that. Jet Troopers for both the sides for the sequel trilogy, Sith Troopers, then the Capex Spy, Ovisian Gunners and Flame Troopers, Riot Troopers for the First Order, as well as Resistance Honor Guard. Now, I'd like to go over some of the modes for this game. Now, modes, we have Heroes versus Villains, which would basically be the same as the previous game. Hero Hunt, same as Battlefront 1, but Hero Showdown would be changed for this, and you would be able to do both 2v2s and 1v1s, basically allowing you to do 2 separate modes within this one mode. Then we have Galactic Assault and Capital Supremacy. Now, I'm sure you noticed I changed the name back to Capital Supremacy from just Supremacy. This is because it would be the same now in all 4 eras. Now, fun fact, this was meant to be how it was in Battlefront 2 before the last update was rushed. By the way, more info in the top right. Anyways, then we have Blast, a simple team deathmatch mode. You know what Blast is. Co-op, which is the same thing as before, and Cargo, just like the first game. And it's not jetpack cargo this time, and it's not exclusive to the original trilogy. None of the modes would be exclusive to any era. Now, I'm sure you noticed the lack of Starfighter modes, and I would have that return in a big update a few months after launch, as well as a new mode where you attack and board capital ships like in the classic Battlefront games. But I thought that should be put aside so that the main event of the ground stuff could be done as best as possible, as that was always the most popular stuff for Battlefront 2. And a lot of people didn't care too much for the Starfighter stuff. Another thing missing is Ewok Hunt. This is because I maybe have plans for another game concept, which I may be doing soon. I don't know, maybe I will do that if this video does good. Next is the vehicles. I would want the vehicles to be a lot better in the sequel, namely being able to get in and out of vehicles without them exploding instantly, as well as multiple people in one vehicle. In this game, I'd like you to be able to hop into a gunship and have someone drop you off in a different area completely. I'm sure you also noticed the change of the main 4 classes, mainly the change of the officer to simply support. This is mainly to give more options for cosmetics and also allow for the new support class to have things like back-to-bombs as well as toolkits to fix up vehicles. As for the cosmetics in this game, you gain special cosmetics for reaching level milestones, whether it be a normal troop or hero. You'd be able to get pauldrons for troops and even Galactic Legend appearances for heroes, which also wouldn't even need to be 100% canon even. Here's a little mock-up I did of the customization for the troops. This is pretty rudimentary, but this is about my skill level for Photoshop, so here you go. Another thing in this game would be private matches, which was never added to Battlefront 2 for some reason. But not only would it be here, you'd have a lot of customization options for it and even be able to choose what sides are fighting. If you want Empire versus Republic on Crate, you can do that. Also, the story for this would be a clone going through the major battles of the Clone Wars, then going into the Empire for a bit before defecting to the Rebellion, and maybe some updates later would add and showing after that. Pretty basic, but honestly, people loved the original Battlefront 2 story for the 501st Journal, and this would be similar. Now, speaking of the story, Iden would still be in the game, just like how she was in Battlefront 2. Story would not be related to her this time. I'd probably say add a good Iden in for the New Republic, First Order eras, and some other story characters later on, like Shriv and her daughter, you know, Ask. You get the point. If you want me to do concepts for further updates, let me know, and maybe I will go into more detail on that. Also, should I do a video on the ideas I had 3 years ago? They probably aren't good, but maybe they are, I don't know. I had a lot of crazy ideas for stuff, including more Spark of Rebellion stuff back then, but that's basically it for the video. I know a lot of this was just basically me listing stuff off that I'd like to see in the game, but hopefully you did enjoy it anyways. The real star of this video was the trailer stuff, so I hope you all definitely enjoyed that. And if you're new here, maybe click that subscribe button. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.